Mike Langford. Mike, would you like to address the delegates?
Sure. Well, I feel like I just rushed in here, now the meeting started. It's just been one of those days today. Started out in D.C. this morning, and a little bumpy ride coming back into Detroit today. A little bit of the weather there, but it was good getting home. First off, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody. Did you have a good holidays, Christmas, New Year's? It kind of low-key for me, which was good. It's sometimes nice, just keeping things easy, no big issues. But 2012, it was hard finding things to do last year, wasn't it? Just a little bit, huh? Think about it. 3 lockouts in utility workers last year. 3 lockouts. That's become the employer's new weapon of choice. Local 1-2, the largest lockout in the history of the United States. Pilgrim nuclear plant, nuclear workers locked out. Vector gas workers down in Ohio locked out. That was 3 of the big tough issues that we dealt with last year. But you know, we prevailed. People held together, they stood together, and we came out on top. We ended up with decent contracts in all those areas. Presidential election. I want to thank many of you in this room who participated to work to get people elected in this state. We worked across this country to get senators that would work for working people. Massachusetts, we were able to get Elizabeth Warren elected. Debbie Stabenow re-elected here in Michigan. Sherrod Brown in Ohio. Bob Casey in Pennsylvania. And the millionaires and the billionaires spent literally billions trying to unelect these people. And their score was 1. They got 1 Senate seat in Arizona. It makes me feel great every day when I look and I see how much money they pumped into the coffers there. And they got it handed to them. They literally got it handed to them, didn't they? So you think, what else happened in 2012? Our illustrious governor, what did he sign into law, huh? The infamous right to work. And you know, when you hear people say right to work, freedom to work, and how misleading their ads were, let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. When you hear people talk about right to work, those people that say they support right to work, they don't support workers' rights. They don't support workers' rights at all. It's all a big scam. And that's why, did people start receiving the letter I sent out yet? Have you received it yet? Mm-hmm. Some folks have? Yeah. We're going to start a campaign here in the state of Michigan. We have a staff meeting next week. All of our staff from around the country will be coming together. We're bringing in other people from the outside to teach even our staff a one-on-one campaign. Folks, we have to get back to basics. We have to reach out. We can't stand in front of large crowds. You know, I sent a letter out just to tell people that we're going to be contacting you. I'll come to every county in this state and meet with members, along with all of you. We're going to go out and we're going to talk to people. We're going to go out and say, Mark, I need your help, Mark. Your rights have just been violated, Mark. What they did in the state of Michigan, in Lansing, when they rushed through to make it harder for you to collective bargain, to make a fair living, is criminal. And we need your help, Mark. I think if we go out and talk to our members to explain to them, you know, some of the members may be pissed off at some of you in this room, and I'm sure they are. Just like some of them are pissed off at me, right? And I'm sure they are. But it's bigger than that. What has taken place in this state is criminal. If you really think about what they're doing. Okay, they lost the national elections, but state by state, the Koch brothers, the DeVos family, they don't want no rules. They don't want to have to work to where somebody can go in and collectively bargain to try to get a fair piece of the pie. They don't want that. They don't want any EPA rules. They want to be able to pollute at will. They don't want OSHA in place. They want to be able to, hey, a death to them is just another person, another number. These people, all they care about is the greed. You look at what's taken place in the Senate with the filibuster rules. We're asking people to write your senator, to call your senator, to tell them you want change. There's a resolution for rules reform package that's being put in front of the Senate, but it looks like it's going to get buried. From my understanding, Carl Levin won't support it. I would suggest every one of you call Carl Levin and tell him to support the proposal from Senators Tom Udall, Merkley, and Harkin. There's going to be a day of action. I think it's January 17th, isn't it, Steve?
16th.
We need people to step up, to be a part of the process. All of you are here, but we got to get our brothers and sisters out there. We got to go out and talk to them. We have to have that one-on-one conversation. We're going to dedicate resources to the state of Michigan here and put people, this is all going to be their full-time job, is to educate, to take back this state. You know, we had the victory conferences this year, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of our typical regional conferences. Well, this year, we're going to have the P4A. Steve's going to talk about that. Well, 214, we're going back to those victory conferences because it's important that we educate and get people engaged and involved with the political process. I know people get sick of hearing about the politics. I'm sick of what's going on in there. But if we're not in their face, and if we're not at the table, you're on the menu, brothers and sisters. Think about it that way. If you're not there, it's tough enough. So we have to be in their face, and we have to get people elected. We have to turn around the state of Michigan. We have to get a House and a Senate and a governor that's looking out for working people instead of millionaires and billionaires and corporate CEOs. That's what we have there today. Can you imagine a bunch of people getting unelected and making all these rules? You know, something's wrong with that process if you think about it. Lame duck session. These folks have nobody to be accountable for. They passed laws at 2 o'clock in the morning that impacted women, that impacted minorities. This is something wrong, seriously wrong, when you look at that extreme right wing, what's taking place out there. It just mind boggles me. When you have a Senate that can't get, there was some 17 bills that never even had an opportunity for debate. Employee free choice, public option, Paycheck Fairness Act. There's so many bills out there that would be for working men and women that never once even got on the floor to even have a discussion because they filibustered it. There's something seriously wrong with that. So anyway, I'm committing to all of you because I want all of you to commit to me that we're going to do our job and we're going to talk to every member that we represent in the state of Michigan. We're going to engage our retirees, our families, to discuss with them. We will put talking points together for people so that they can educate folks on what this really means and what really took place. Because now, the ads that they're putting out on Pure Michigan, now they got right to work right there with it, advertising it. Yeah, it's insane what's taking place here. You know, people really, really need to understand the facts. A lot of you were in Lansing, a lot of you took time off, and I commend you. But it's going to take much more than what took place there, because obviously they got their way. But in the end, I truly believe we're going to take it back because of all of you in this room and others just like you. And that's the commitment that we all have to sign on to. Let me tell you a little bit about some other things taking place. We have 3 big initiatives this year coming up. Right to work, that's a big initiative. 2, we're going to take a big campaign on against First Energy, the big utility in Ohio. They're also in Pennsylvania. Maryland, one other state that they cover. There's like 4 to 5 states. Here's a company that shut plants down, coal plants, in September of last year. The Stamus plant, 7 units, had $1.5 billion worth of pollution controls put on it. Told people, you're going to be without a job, we're going to shut it down. September. Why September? Threaten them by voting for Obama, we're going to shut the plants down. Right now, those plants are running full tilt around the clock because they need the power. And it was all playing games on politics and people's lives. That is seriously wrong. We have a campaign going on with that company. We organized the plant when First Energy bought Allegheny. It's called the Harrison plant down in West Virginia. That's the other state. I knew I was forgetting one of them. Trying to get a first contract. The company has violated all kinds of rules. And we're going to get a complaint now issued. I just got the word yesterday that every member down there is going to receive about $15,000 in back pay. You're looking at about 200 people. So that was a So you can see, this is a company, it's a rogue company, it's a greedy company. Tony Alexander, the CEO, he only makes like $26 million a year. It's, you know, I feel sorry for the guy. I don't know how he makes ends meet. I really don't. I really don't understand. But we're going to take him out. We're going to punch him in the eye. We're going to punch him in the nose. We're going to punch him wherever it takes until they start treating our members with dignity and respect. That's number 2 big initiative taking place. Number 3, we are going to educate the regulators, the politicians, the governors, the public on who utility workers are, what we do for a living, what we stand for. And if you think about what that Hurricane Sandy did, it brought out the best and it brought out the worst of this industry. The worst is how these companies are not putting the money back into the system, hiring the people that they need. You have people in New York, there's still places and pockets without power. I mean, it's criminal. You know, we have water lines in the ground that are wooden, that leak so much water that you're wasting a tremendous amount of energy. Because to make fresh water, it takes energy. And to lose fresh water, you're losing a valuable resource. We have gas lines blowing up around the country, the latest in Massachusetts. I mean, the one that really highlighted was San Bruno out in California. We have an electrical system that's really held together with Band-Aids, 1930, 1940 technology. You all know that. You work in it day in, day out. And when I say we're going to educate the people, we've brought in several of our attorneys that we work with. We're bringing in people from around the country to really create a paper that we can take out to show people how these utilities, it's more about CEO pay and dividends to Wall Street than it is to protect the communities. And here, when I told you that this storm brought out the best and the worst, the best part is our workers, our members, are out there working around the clock. A lot of you went out there, didn't you? Did some of the folks out here? Let me see a show of hands of some of your members went out there. But they have been relying on mutual aid. Mutual aid is okay, but you can't rely upon that. You go into somebody else's system, you don't know their system, and really, the in-house people know what's going on. And they literally have to babysit a lot of these folks. So we're going to educate all these folks that I told you and tell them the issues that are out there. And we're not just going to whine to them, but we're going to tell them the fixes. We're going to try to embarrass these companies and these regulators and these politicians in hiring a proper amount of people in our industry to replace and to rebuild the infrastructure of gas, electric, and water. What not a better place to start of rebuilding America? You know, you need more income, you need to lower the deficit, we'll put more people to work. They'll pay more taxes, right? That's the best way to get out of the hole, is getting more people, jobs. And you know, they talk about jobs. What not better than good utility worker jobs? You all know that all these things that I'm talking about, this infrastructure could all be replaced and updated and upgraded. And what all would that do? You know, you're the greening of the economy. Well, that would green it up a lot. In a lot of ways. With pollution and greening in the pocket too. The old wallet would get a little fatter if they put some of these people back to work. So this is what we're going to do. That's another big initiative that we're going to take on. And we're starting out in New Jersey and New York. Why? Because they're the ones that got hit the hardest. The eyes are upon it. And we think this is a good opportunity to take it to all these people I just told you about. So we're going to be coming to your neighborhood too. We need facts, figures. We need to get information from everybody on what are some of the issues out there, what are some of the things that are wrong. But then how do we fix it? What are the fixes to it? Because when we go to these people and we explain to them, we want to show them how you can fix it and how it will be a good thing for this country. By good jobs and a good system for electric, gas, and water. What would be wrong with that, huh? What a novel concept, huh? So that's our goal this year. Those are 3 things that we're taking on, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm sure there'll be a lot more that gets piled on as it always does. So anyway, those are 3 that you can count on. And all the surprises that come in between for 213, we'll deal with them. But brothers and sisters, it's always a pleasure being here. I know Steve's going to talk about the P4A and some of the other things coming up. I'm going to be here for a while, and I know you got a lot of work here. And Pat, good seeing you, and good seeing the whole board here. And God bless you all. And let's do what we got to do to take this state back and tell them where they can shove right to work. And we all know where.